Black-footed ferrets are carnivorous mammals that live in North America, mostly in the U.S. Considered an endangered species, these critters nearly went extinct around 1980.
We have about 300 ferrets in captivity.
Back in 2014, Pete Gober with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service showed us around the National Black-footed Ferret Conservation Center in Colorado, which runs a captive breeding program for these animals.
They're a highly specialized predator that relies on prairie dogs for both food and the burrow system for protection from their own predators like coyotes and golden eagles.
When prairie dog populations were decimated by poisoning, farming operations, and sylvatic plague, black-footed ferret numbers also plummeted, prompting aggressive recovery efforts. Now there's a new worry for folks like Gober: COVID-19.
Definition of history is one damn thing after another. COVID seems to be that, you know.
Outbreaks of the disease in minks raised for their fur in the U.S. and Europe set off alarm bells last year.
They're all in the weasel family, and since mink were susceptible to COVID-19, we were concerned that black-footed ferrets would be too. So we kind of really got rattled.
Ferret managers decided to inoculate them with a COVID-19 vaccine. The drug was developed by the National Wildlife Health Center and administered to 2/3 of Colorado's captive ferrets. The vaccine has shown some efficacy. No ferrets have contracted COVID-19 so far.
I think it's wonderful that we were able to, as a scientific community, rapidly deploy vaccines for this species.
Veterinary microbiologist Anna Faegre says the fact that black-footed ferrets have been prone to previous coronavirus infections meant
we should keep an eye on ferrets, and that ferrets were a species that was susceptible to SARS, and so it might become an issue for those animals.
In mink populations, this virus is believed to have spread from human handlers, mutated, and then passed back to humans. Millions of these animals were culled after the outbreaks. The Colorado Center moved its ferrets into smaller groups and staggered work shifts to minimize the threat here.
We're playing the statistical probabilities on trying to limit any transmission that might be there.
Black-footed ferrets have developed a certain following.
I just think he's so cute.
The COVID-19 vaccine and others that may soon be commercially available are aimed at maintaining their introduction into the wild and keeping this very vulnerable species alive. Hendrik Sabrandi, CGTN, Denver.